Here's part two of my journey as a young adult. It was so crazy how I just looked at myself so little. Like, I just saw myself as just a piece in the puzzle. I didn't see myself as a big deal, if that made sense. I just felt like I was just doing what I needed to do, right? So when that went viral, I kind of became a new person in my mindset. I started seeing that, girl, you are not ordinary. And that really did a lot to build my confidence. But in terms of how I felt internally about myself, so it's one thing for me to show that I have confidence, and it's also another thing for me to believe that I'm a confident woman, right? So what that did for me was it made me so confident in myself and my decision making, and my skills, my learning ability, my intelligence, how I could really make something out of nothing. So that was literally the positive thing that came out of that moment. Then the other part was also from there, I started getting interviews, BBC, I became a TEDx speaker. I was on different stages, different radio stations, different TV stations, and that was a morale boost. Also, for my graduation, my family couldn't make it to Hungary. So I was like, okay, let me come to Nigeria and just greet them all. I only came to greet. How I came to greet, and it has become 8 years of living in Nigeria. Only God can save me. But yeah, I came to greet my family and just celebrate my graduation with them after 7 years. We must celebrate together. Oh, and then I also had the wedding to attend. Then because of the whole interview here, interview there. So I think another thing that made that thing go very viral was because a lot of people didn't know that I did not study in Nigeria. And that is one thing I tell people, like, if I had studied in Nigeria, my story would have been different. So that 17-year-old girl that was adamant about studying in Hungary, she did well for herself for sure. Yes, because if I had studied in Nigeria, I don't think I would have been able to do what I did. There was more structure abroad. The structure I had in Hungary helped me to be able to plan ahead, to know when I needed to start studying, to know when I need to go for a compulsory class. So I had the timetable around it, and I could plan around the free times to focus on business and sleep and rest. Yeah. So any free time I had, it was for sleep, not for socializing. It was on Sundays I had the energy to socialize and meet friends. I came back to Nigeria to celebrate with my friends and family. And then from there, I was going up and down. I was still in Abeokuta then, so I had to be coming to Lagos so frequently. I had to get a driver to bring in me. Mumsy was just looking at me like, I don't understand what's going on with this girl. But no problem. And by December of 2016, when I felt like, okay, I had rested enough since I think I came in October, I was like, okay, now let's think about the next step. What do I want to do with my life? Sorry, before I got there, by June of 2016, before I graduated, I already took my step towards non-clinical masters. So that was health telemedicine, e-health, right? So I already enrolled in a university in Italy for that, and by October I started it. But it was something I could do online too, so that allowed me to travel down to Nigeria. So by December, because the program was just for 6 months, 9 months rather, and by December I was thinking, okay, I'll soon finish this MSc. What do I do with it? Where do I go? Do I want to come back to Nigeria? Do I want to live abroad? And that was um a very interesting critical time for me. And luckily, because I was in Nigeria, it was a conversation I also had with my family just for them to guide me in what they think is best for me, right? Nigeria wasn't as bad then, so the option of Nigeria was still very much open. The other options for non-Nigerian places were Europe, which is Ireland, UK, Malta. I wasn't really interested in Germany because I had to learn another language for that, and I'm not a language girl. I am not. I was in Hungary for 7 years, and I can tell you for a fact I cannot finish a sentence in Hungarian language. Maybe then I could try if it was medical, but like random conversations, I can pick words, but not a sentence. So I'm definitely not a language girly. And as at then, Canada wasn't really much of an option. Like, it was there, but we didn't really know much about it. Then I weighed my options and I told my mom, and I realized that, okay, I've always told myself I don't want to practice, right? And that is actually the goal. But then I still want to be a registered doctor in Nigeria. So how do I get that done? I can't do it later on in life when I've already moved forward to like other career path. So it just felt like now that I still have the memory fresh in my head, let me just get this part done. So that was what informed my decision to move back to Nigeria, which was get the MTCN license, do my housemanship, do my NYSC, and say hasta la vista. We are done with medicine. That was the plan. But God has other plans, eh? So I went back to Hungary, said goodbye to my friends, bought a 1 week to get back to Nigeria, and I was back home by February of 2017. I did the exam, I passed it, thank you Jesus, at first try. My birthday was coming, it was my 25th birthday, and I wanted to celebrate it, big 2-5, right? Silver Jubilee. So I had a party celebrating passing the exam, celebrating being a medical doctor, celebrating my birthday. And at that point, I didn't realize that once you pass the exam, you're supposed to start looking for a job. Oh. Oh my days. I was in chill mode. I was like, I'm chilling. I'm celebrating my birthday. You guys already know. The people that know that my birthday, I don't joke with it at all. It's the most important day in the year for me. So I celebrated it, and then once May was over, it's like my eyes just opened. Okay, what are you going to do? When do you want to get the job? So here comes another pivotal moment, which was deciding if I wanted to stay back in Abeokuta, I wanted to stay in Lagos. So the problem with Abeokuta is my comfort zone. I don't think anything great happens in your comfort zone, right? So I didn't feel like I needed to be in Abeokuta to do my housemanship. So that wasn't an option for me. And when my mom asked me, I said, right now I cannot give you the why, but what I can tell you is the why for the future, and which is the fact that I know where I'm headed. I know the kind of business I want to establish. So Lagos is definitely going to be my base for that. Not that Abeokuta had any issue in regards to business, but I felt like I could not move at the same pace in Abeokuta that I would have done in Lagos and be successful at it. So what I mean by that is Abeokuta is a very calm area and is reminiscent of where I studied, which is Debrecen. It's also a very calm area. And like I said, it's home. So whether it's calm or it's chaotic, I will always want to be home, right? But the problem with that, in terms of establishing yourself as an entrepreneur, is the fact that the ideas I had, the kind of skills I had, I didn't see the market there. I felt like if I needed to still be in Abeokuta, I'll have to do it in a massive, big way so that I can be felt and I can be known and I can compete with the people that they are already used to. By the time this is me just coming out of uni, I didn't have the funds to say I want to go big or go home. I didn't have the capacity in terms of people around me. So it's just going to be me. So me going big or go home wasn't an option because once again we're trying to do housemanship, right? Exactly. So that was why Abeokuta wasn't the option for me in terms of business. But in Lagos, if I know how to play my cards well, I can still start small, grow slowly in Lagos while trying to figure out life as a new doctor and trying to finish up housemanship. That was why I decided to move to Lagos. So by August of 2017, I became a Lagosian officially. I moved to Lagos, and again, I'm giving you all this backstory so that you understand me as a person, right? If this actually helps a bit. So I moved to Lagos August of 2017. I had a couple of friends, but not maybe like two or so in Lagos then. No family. What that meant was I was starting all over, right? Starting life all over, trying to understand Lagos, trying to understand what I wanted to do with housemanship hunt, what I wanted to do with starting my businesses, how to get customers, how to get this and that, right? But one thing I've always had in my repertoire was branding skills. So that was one of the reasons why I could build those cakes by giving customers what wasn't popular already in the market. So that also helped those cakes grow. But then on the flip side was I didn't really have places to go. So once again, I'm in isolation. Maybe just my neighbors, I'll say hi to them once in a while. I was literally in isolation again, just figuring life out as a young adult. I mean, I was 25. So, housemanship, I did interview here, did interview there. Is either they don't want to pay you, or they want to give you one very small amount of money, or they don't even have a vacancy at all. And I'm there like, with all the millions spent on my head, you not pay me care. I like Ojo. So from the beginning, I already knew that whatever housemanship spot I get, I am going to be paid. I'm going to be paid enough to cover my bills and not just pay transportation because I had the car. So meaning I was also going to be fueling it, right? So that made me very stubborn in my search, and obviously, what that led to was I was jobless. I didn't have a job throughout that 2017. I couldn't secure a job, even though I was going for interviews, right? So that gave me time to really build my business. I was getting orders here and there, one today, none tomorrow, one next tomorrow, twice. Like it was just starting, so I really wasn't putting pressure on myself to be getting $10 in a day, right? And once again, remember, I'm solo. I'm doing everything up until the logistics part where I was now using Uber. Thank God for Uber in those days. Though. It really helped me. By the end of 2017, this is now when life took a different turn.